Hey everybody, this is Perch. Well, let's read this mail. It says, "Dear Perch, I really appreciate your business videos. They're my favorite videos on your channel." By the way, everybody always says that, but they're also the lowest viewed videos on the channel. I, it doesn't. I'm okay with it, and I like that. Look, that's what I bring to the table, so that's what I'm going to keep talking about. But I find there's a odd dynamic there of whatever. I don't know. It puzzles me. It puzzles me. It doesn't puzzle me why the videos that are like, Mark Wade's a dick. That's going to get more views. I get that. I get how negativity sells, but all the same, anyway, it is what it is. Okay, blah, 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 blah. We're here on this mail. Okay, you have mentioned in the past that late books causes damage to sales. I believe you even talked about that during your sales analysis videos. Which, by the way, when are those coming back? Those are the best part of your channel. Someday, son, someday, uh, someday. I'll put tons of effort into a video that 5 people will watch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not salty. The video yeah, okay. All right. Enough. Uh, um, I have talked about that in the sales analysis videos. You can actually see the moment where a strong sales delay. I mean, and I did the sales video for Saga. You could see where the delays and the hiatuses have a direct sales impact. And it makes sense, right? Comic buying is habit in a lot of cases. So if you're used to buying a monthly book, or I don't know, even if you make the habit that it's every other month that you get the book. I mean, lots of different things can go on. But if you build that habit, you have to maintain that habit. When you break that habit, bad things happen. So, you need to keep it going. Anyway, but yes, I have talked about that in the past. Okay, back to Mel. I'm curious what you think about crowdfunding. However, a lot of crowdfunded books are extremely late. Some creators even brag about how late they are. Do they? Okay. Sorry. You're a first class idiot if you are out there bragging about your book being late. I'm sorry. It's just dumb. That's super, super dumb. Um, the proper response is a little bit of embarrassment, a little bit of humility, definitely some reasoning behind why it's late. The bragging, I don't. I have a hard time believing anybody's actually bragging about being late because again, that you are just a super jackass if that's what you're doing. Anyway, um, okay. Um, but none of these things seem to impact the sales. There are some creators who are crowdfunding who are perpetually late and they still have the same followers, the same attention, and same, I don't know what this word is. Anyway, basically same following, as if they were publishing a book monthly. So my question is, does timeliness really matter? And doesn't crowdfunding prove that it doesn't? I'm curious to get your response. Thank you very much for the show. Again, I really appreciate okay. Yes, the sales number of videos will come back. All right. With that mail out of the way, let's talk about it. So first, I think there's some conflating going on. So keep in mind crowdfunding. The idea that a creator or a company is going online and you're paying into the book is typically based on a number of different things, but lateness is not one of them. Lateness comes as a result of the campaign, the person blinking out, or who knows what happens. But the reason people come into a crowdfunded campaign is because most of the time they're following a creator. There's somebody involved in the campaign that they like that they want to support. That's the number one reason. That's typically why it's happening. If and you'll notice most campaigns lead with like the creator, like legendary creator blank is doing this crowdfunding campaign. I would argue, when Sean Murphy did the Zorro campaign, how much of that was about Sean Murphy and how much of it was about Zorro? My feeling is more of it was about Sean Murphy than Zorro. Zorro's a draw, and people can say I've always wanted to see what Sean Murphy would do with Zorro. Okay, that's fine. But I think the headline of that crowdfunding campaign is him. And then the products, and this is probably the part that doesn't get enough airtime when you think about crowdfunding. The products in this case are, there's like you can buy the book, or you can buy the hardcover book, or the digital book, or the book with a bunch of variant covers, or a bunch of prints, or an original drawing, or a sketch, or there's all these different flavors of what it is that you're buying in the crowdfunding campaign that you can get. Very, very few crowdfunding campaigns are like, you pay $10, you get a book. That's what you get. That's all you get. That's all there is. Very few operate that way. Almost all of them operate in a there's 50 different tiers. And if you keep putting in money, we'll unlock more tiers, and so in that sense, a lot of the customers that are coming in for that campaign are coming in because of a particular creator attached to it that is the lead, and they're coming in for the flexibility of the product they're going to get. They're not coming to it again because they enjoy late books. So, why are there late books? Well, I mean, the biggest reason is, with a crowdfunding campaign, the person who's running it and doing it is typically the creator who is, also the primary draw. And they're the primary marketing, and they're the financier, and they're the operations person who's going to get the books to the printer, and. The problem with a lot of crowdfunding is that you have a person who's doing all of the jobs. And typically, the person doing all the jobs is not good at all the jobs. It's very rare that you get somebody who is a good writer, and a good artist, and a good marketer, and a good financier, and you rarely have somebody who's good with all the hats. And so one hat invariably suffers. And human nature being what it is, most people will know what they're bad at and typically do that job last. They'll put it off as much as humanly possible, often to the detriment of the book. So they don't want to do it. So then the book gets late. And in many cases, when it's late, that's even more pressure to the creator. And typically, it's late because of something the creator doesn't really want to do or doesn't enjoy doing. Maybe it's an artist who really likes doing art, but they don't like talking to a printer and doing the operational logistics of getting shit printed and quality checking and all the rest. And so now it's late, and the thing that is really holding up the whole job is the thing they hate to do. And so now they're like gritting their teeth getting through it. That's typically what happens. But no customer likes a late book. And I do think there's been this narrative in crowdfunding that it's like, well, if it's good quality, I don't mind waiting for good quality. Well, that's nice. And I mean, if you're a creator and your book is late, that's a nice get out of jail free card that one of your customers may be giving you, but you shouldn't count on that card too much. You shouldn't overplay it. The customer is basically saying, hey, I supported you. This is, even more than the comic. I mean, and that's the other thing, quite frankly, is a lot of people who are buying into a crowdfunding campaign, in some cases, don't care about the actual book or comic or thing they're getting. They care about supporting somebody. It's a cult of personality type thing. You're basically funding someone you like. It's like a donation. It's really no different than a Patreon to some extent, or a coffee, or any of those services. Now, some of those books are quite good that come out of crowdfunding. Some of them absolutely are good quality, and can't knock them. But the book is secondary in a lot of cases to the personality on top of it. And but regardless, if you're sitting there on that book and it's late, I think you're making a huge mistake if you take from that you could just fuck around and be late forever and nobody's going to care. People will care, and you do need to get your book out. To me, every time I see that there's a creator whose books are late, yes, the loyal followers will forgive that lateness because, again, they didn't really care about the product in the first place that they're getting. But I, I mean, every time they do that, I think it takes money out of the overall pot. Meaning, crowdfunding would be stronger for everyone if, some of the bigger names who have been terribly late actually got their shit out on time and didn't, make excuses for it. I think the more excuses you make, the more it hurts everyone else. And quite frankly, you look at a lot of creators who are very late with their books and haven't put things out. Their sales have dropped. They've had to do more in the marketing side. They'd have to use YouTube more, do more live streams, do more appearances on other people's shows, etc., in order to just try and keep the dollar volume as close as possible to the original, before they started to erode it. But being late erodes sales. Absolutely. Being late with a book has never gained sales. It's not like I was 2 years late and man, it did great. That was great for my sales. Never. So I think it does matter. I don't think I know it does. The numbers prove lateness does matter. It sucks. And again, if you're a creator and you're creating art, then you may not want to think about things like delays and lateness, but fuck, it matters. That's at the end of the day, when people pay money, they want what they paid for. The end. Simple as that. Anyway, thank you very much for the question. Thanks for listening. You let me know. Do you care about late books? Maybe you don't. That'd be weird, but let me know in the comments below. And thanks for listening.